Hey there, Riverica here, reporting for duty on a trigger. Thank you so much for shuffling states of emergency into adoption spirit magic with me and steering clear of danger. Heartily, we are grateful. In this session, we are exploring what the Sagittarius Full Moon has to share with us to help us move forward, minding our business in the highest love and light this 3rd of June, 2023. But before that, some disclaimers. I am not a doctor, lawyer, therapist. I am a fortune teller, so what I offer is no substitute for their services. Furthermore, what I share does not determine your future. Only your intentions and actions do. So please use your gifts of discernment before deciding what to gather and take away. And of course, take only what resonates and blow like a kiss the rest to the universe for cosmic composting back into beauty. This reading is intended for fun and games, for shits and giggles, for entertainment, for flexing our heart, mind, soul, spirit, emotions, and intuition. And at the, did I say heart? We're flexing our heart too, right? And at the least, I hope to cause harm to none, and at the most, I hope I may assist you on your healing path. So all that being said, just clearing the space with a little egg, playing through with the rattle, because it's fun. And thank you for holding the intention of saying only love and only love we shall see. And we have some rose quartz here, rose quartz pyramid on the living altar that was selected for this reading. And you can look up for yourself metaphysical properties of the rose quartz, of the pyramid, of anything else you see here in this reading, to take this reading a step further for yourself, to make it even more relevant, because we are all different psychosocial science experiments, and what resonates for you may be different than what resonates for me. And so I appreciate offering you that suggestion that you can see a little bit more for yourself. Check out 4 or 5 or 6 or 27 different resources and see what jumps out at you. What jumps out at you. And so this living altar is by Kiki Robinson and Ilva Marzana Radzesuski. It is one of the only Romani decks I know in circulation. I am so thrilled to share it with you and to play with it myself and with you. And you may find out more about the Living Altar at thelivingaltar.com, and you may hang out with Kiki and Ilva online on Instagram and other places like Altars Up Witches, their podcast. You may also enjoy taking in the Romanistan podcast, the Halloween episodes, where the Romanistan podcast creators, Paulina Verminsky and her co-host Jessica Reedy invited Ilva and Kiki over to share spooky stories. And so Kiki and Ilva share spooky stories about the making of this deck of cards. So you may enjoy taking that in. And you may also enjoy taking in Foretold. It's a podcast that the LA Times hosted Tuesdays over the past couple months. And then Romanistan has been doing a debriefing after those podcasts that are hosted by the LA Times. That Romanistan podcast debriefing follows the Foretold podcast by the LA Times. So you may enjoy participating in those circles, helping hold the safe sound space. And so I share those with you, and thank you so much for your support. Heartily, we are grateful. So this Sagittarius moon is coming up, inviting us to explore where we've been for the past couple years, how we've grown, how our narratives have changed, looking to Gemini. The sun just moved into Gemini, and Gemini is opposite of Sagittarius, so enjoying exploring that to help offer some balance and some stability to the Sagittarius. And so let's see what else may help us move forward in the highest love and light with this Sagittarius full moon. And you are a whole, full, loving, powerful spiritual being, and so am I. And we thank your source and my source and your spirit team, angels, galaxy guides, ancestors, saints, sages, gods, goddesses, universes here in the highest love and light, as well as mine. And we thank your source and my source for immediately shifting the situations into what they need to be, offering necessary insights, acts of grace, protection. Heartily, we are grateful. So it was, so it was, and so it was, so it was. Thank you for making this reading abundantly clear. It may help us move forward, minding our business in the highest love and light. I love it. So we have water. Such a beautiful card. This came out in the June readings as well, so you may be interested in checking out some of those, seeing if the water happens to correspond with you even more. And these beautiful colors, the yellow is reminding me of the Manipura chakra, the blue is reminding me of the Visuddha chakra, the throat chakra, really speaking to owning that new narrative, that willpower to just own your truth and to be able to speak it into reality. And for orphans and adoptees, and you can share as well if this resonates with you, but for orphans and adoptees, that narrative has switched in some cases, where the orphan and adoptee is coming out of the adoption fog or the fairy tales. And this is also seen with people coming out of the gypsy myths into the realm of reality. And so there's a whole different story going on. We're coming from a different place, from a totally different place of taking our power back and a joyful, peaceful way, and wanting to live in that beauty. And so coming from that strong place, that warmth of the sun, and just owning who we really are instead of what other people were wanting us to be for them. And like a seeing eye dog helps a person move around whose sight is limited. Sometimes we find ourselves in relationships parallel to that aren't so equitable, and not by our choice. More, we were adopted, like that seeing eye dog was adopted to serve a purpose, and that overruled our own wants and needs. So yeah, a lot coming up with this Sagittarius full moon, this water card. This water card is also reminding me of all the water treatments we take in a day, from drinking our glasses of water to make sure we remain hydrated, to taking a dip in the ocean, the salt water. So leaning into that may assist you through this next moon phase, or through into the next Sagittarius full moon, or whenever you are taking this in. Take it as it resonates. And there are 3 parts to this card. So you may settle in and know that you can look forward to 3 chunks, and also you can come back to these at any point in time to review, to help integrate, to activate, to embody, to spend some more time reflecting. So I share that to help you just rest easy with this reading as it is, knowing that, hey, at any time you can come back. You don't need to get it all right now. So that being said, the Witch's Wheel correspondence. There's about 2 handfuls of words, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. And they are autumn, west, adult, midlife, abundance, generosity, sunset, disseminating moon, third quarter moon, expression, counsel, ancestor, initiation. Beautiful. So maybe you contemplate your water in those different areas, how you use water in the autumn, or how you use water in the west part of your house, or maybe your garden, how your water use has changed as an adult in your midlife, all the different ways. Maybe you have water rituals for abundance. So maybe that's one way you can look at this witch's wheel and dive into that deeper on top of so many others. Take it as it resonates. And the spell associated with this card: I welcome in the counsel of what was, what is, and what will be, to guide my initiation of becoming ancestor. I commit to my expression, to serve as threshold, which I will wisely navigate the shaping of my life in purposeful ways. So beautiful, especially with what we were talking about, reclaiming ourselves and reworking our narratives in a way that really suits us and is more dignified and equitable for us than perhaps the relationships we've been in as a baby or a youth that we didn't have as much control over. And so what a beautiful spell to help accompany that and help integrate that and activate that, what we've been doing, this dismantling. It's been a dismantling, whether it's you're dismantling a patriarchy, you're dismantling the adoption fairy tales, you're dismantling the gypsy myths and stepping into these different realities. You can feel it in the blink and take it as it resonates. It's different for everybody because we're all different psychosocial science experiments, and perhaps there's some threads of commonality, but to help this reading integrate for you, I invite you to explore more from your own perspective, from your own heart, because that's so beautiful. Only you can express that, and only you can know that and access that, and such a beautiful gift. And thank you for being so hardy as to do the work that you're doing. This is serious, serious work that is not for the faint of heart, like what you have done to get to where you are. Thank you so much for being so strong and persevering, even the times when you perhaps didn't want to, or when it was so heartbreaking, you still kept going, and you're still going. Thank you so much for helping integrate this new earth and dismantle the old earth in a peaceful, joyful way. We are so grateful. Thank you. And in the guiding messages, water is the threshold. Its reflection is the portal to wisdom. An initiatory spirit. It is time to tend to your feelings. Take inventory regarding your journey. Spend time in counsel with your altar. Super, super sweet. And if you're in the northern hemisphere experiencing summer right now, extra caution with the water, making sure you stay hydrated. And if you're in the southern hemisphere experiencing the winter, extra caution to be sure to keep yourself safe in those situations that are maybe crystallizing in a way that is needing some, your body is needing some extra shield or extra protections. All that to say, you know what you need, and when you don't, you keep checking in with yourself and keep trusting that. And you can use water to assist you with that, especially knowing, on top of knowing, or the beauty of knowing how water plays into the body that you are. What percentage of your body is actually water? What percentage of one of your cells is actually water? It's a wonder to reflect upon, and to be able to apply that as a portal to wisdom, reflecting upon that water threshold. Super sweet. And yes, just acknowledging how far you've come, especially in the past couple years. So many of us have been invited to take deeper looks at really what is important for us and what we do need in a day to move forward in a healthy, balanced, equitable, dignified way. And some of us have been dancing away from old ways of life and dancing into new ways of life, and And we may have said it differently, very differently in the past. Perhaps we were in a place of being victimized, and we've been able to work through it, and our language has changed. The way we speak about it has changed. We can offer this other perspective of how that fits into the whole and helps us be the person that we are now, to offer what we have, to help rebuild this new earth, to help share our gifts on this planet now. It has assisted us into getting to this beautiful place where we're opening up this new space, so we can honor that, and we can also honor where we were, knowing that was a step along the way, and release the resentment, release the guilt and shame, release the bitterness, the anger, and stream in grace to replace, and keep honoring that new narrative as it's developing. And so beautiful, so beautiful. So that is a wonderful message from the Sagittarius moon about what we may contemplate to help us move forward, minding our business in the highest love and light. And we have the sun and Gemini to assist us with all of that, and the daily aspects of that, and the communicating of that, and the water to keep us fluid, to help us soul surf the ebbs and the flows, the highs and the lows. So thank you so much for helping breathe life into Adoption Spirit Magic with us. Heartily, we are grateful. Until next time, ciao for now. We love you all.